What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wes Grant. You're watching Sub Urban Nerd. It's the channel I give my nerd views on today's nerd news. Well, if you guys like this video, remember to like and subscribe. And this is gonna be my first time doing this, my top 10 movies of the year, and that isn't just comic book movies, just movies in general that I feel kind of resonated with me for the year, and hopefully you guys will like it. And remember, this is my opinion, this isn't all, mind you, I have not seen every movie that has come out, so of course there's gonna be some movies left off here, maybe that might have made the list if I had seen them, but and I didn't have the A-list, AMC A-list, you know, until this later this summer. So you know what, once I got it, I definitely was trying to rack up these movies. So this is my top 10 list for 2018. So the first movie on number 10 is A Simple Plan. Yes, A Simple Plan. I don't know if you guys even seen this movie, but it's a movie with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick, where basically Blake Lively pulls a Gone Girl, disappears. No one knows what happened to her. So people are suspecting the husband, and Anna Kendrick was this nobody kind of mom that kind of took a liking to Anna Kendrick, took a liking to Blake Lively. They somewhat became sort of friends, and when she goes missing, she goes and tries to find out. And the reason why this is on my top 10 is because this movie, when it's like it was an amalgamation of so many genres. It was like a mystery, it was a thriller, it was action, it was kind of like a comedy. It was so many things that I didn't even know that it could be without, you know, messing it up. And that's one thing, that's why I liked it so much. The fact that it just, you couldn't really put it in one specific category, but yet it did everything so well. So that's why that was at my number 10. Number 9. Number 9, you guys probably don't even remember this, but there was a little movie called Upgrade. Yes, Upgrade, with the broke man's Tom Hardy. If you guys don't know, look it up. The guy that played, that was in Upgrade, he looks like Tom Hardy, but just not as, I don't know, successful or something. But yeah, this movie was sort of like what I thought Venom was gonna be, where where as far as the symbiote taking over a body and having to do, but this one did it so much better, where like he was like a robot, just let the robot take over, and then there was a twist at the end where, you know what, I like the twist, like, cause you know, normally everything works out well, but sometimes it doesn't, and when it doesn't, sometimes that makes the movie kind of good. And I really enjoyed this movie. A lot of action, like the sci-fi just was so great. The choreography was so amazing, as far as just the way he moved was so robotic, but the moves, and oh, it was just so badass. So hopefully you guys see this, because I'm telling you what, it's one really to be watched. My number 8 movie is Creed 2. Yes, Creed 2, with Michael B. Jordan getting even more swole than he could before. More swole than he was in the first one, more swole than he was in Black Panther. The dude just kept on putting on, but him taking on Victor Drago, it was and then a montage of him training. The training with inside the wheel to learn how to fight in close was just so badass. It was so enjoyable. I'm not sure if I liked it better than the first Creed, because I watched the first Creed literally like the weekend right before, like, of watching Creed 2. I watched it the day before watching Creed 2, because I wanted to go in, you know, with some knowledge and knowing the history of the Creed, you know, because I know it's a sequel of the Rocky, but you know, this is Michael B. Jordan, this is Apollo Creed's son, and it's trying to step into the footsteps and doing a good job, as I can say. But Michael B. Jordan definitely did a good job, brought it as far as the acting, because the first one, he definitely, you felt for him, but this one, him fighting for his son, was a girl or whichever, like the child that he had, and then like you could understand, you could feel the real emotion with him even more in this movie than you could in the first one. So that's why I'm giving this my number 8 spot in my list. Number 7 is Ralph Breaks the Internet, or Ralph 2, or Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaking the Internet, whichever way you want to say it. Reason I'm giving this, because this one, I didn't go in with great expectations, but I came out pleasantly surprised. I like the way they did the internet, and they did it so much better than the goddamn Emoji Movie, where it's just a bunch of BS, the way they just tried to say the way the internet worked. But this one, like, yo, it actually worked like this, like the way the memes, the way you became popular, like this whole thing of becoming an internet sensation, like it's legit with the whole dance, whatever, like everything was just so legit on with the way they did it. And you know, Penelope, how the friendship was, and how, you know, Ralph learned that he was being a little clingy, and like, because she was pretty much his first true friend, that he just wanted to keep her to himself, and she just had to grow because she wasn't enjoying it. It was stale, the game that she was in, it was getting boring, and she wanted to live life, and that's what true friends are. True friends don't hold you back. True friends let you grow, and they're still gonna be there when you come back. That's what a true friend is. No matter how many how many days, how many years go by, when you guys can just meet up and it's back like you guys never missed a beat, that's a true friend, and that's what hopefully Ralph learned in this movie. Next, number 6. Number 6 is you guessed it. No, you didn't. It is Mission Impossible Fallout. Why? Because Tom Cruise, as old as he is still just doing the crazy stunts. Before he was on the side of a building in Dubai, and then he was on the side of like a plane taking off. Next, in this one, you know what he did? He straight up learned. No, he did like a halo jump from like the stratosphere or something like that. And then on top of that, he learned to fly a helicopter by himself so that they could record the scenes of him flying the helicopter. How crazy is that? And then he also injured himself, you know, doing a movie. But, you know, Tom Cruise, the movie was just, it was fun. It was fun, and then they brought in, you know, like, what's that guy's name? The guy that plays Superman. Well, they brought him in, and, Henry Cavill, that's what I remember. His name is Henry Cavill. And he brought Henry Cavill in, and he did a good job playing, you know, spoiler alert, the bad guy, whatever, but, I liked this movie. It was fun. It was a fun summer movie. I wish it did a little bit more in the box office, but I think it did pretty well. You know they're going to do another Mission Impossible, and I don't know what other crazy things he's going to do. The only other thing he could do is like what that crazy rich guy did. We're putting a Tesla in sky with like a monkey. So maybe, you know, Tom Cruise would be on a Tesla and rocket it or fly it in to the atmosphere. I don't know what, but I don't know how he's going to top it, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. So that's why Mission Impossible Fallout is my number 6. My number 5 is Incredibles 2. Incredibles 2, reason being is the messages. The way they came in, like the women power, like I'm all about the women power, because if you guys ever seen my unboxing, I have a collection of a lot of female characters, from whether it's comic books, superheroes, whatever. I have a lot of female characters, and I have a lot of respect for females. You know, my mom being a single mom might have something to do with it, but this, the movie's Incredibles. It definitely showed some female power, because Mrs. Elastic, or Elastigirl, she kicks ass is on her own. She didn't need Mr. Incredible before she met him. Like, you know what I'm saying? She was and when she gets the motorcycle and the way she's shooting around and just the way she maneuvers, it's just so badass, and she was just such a badass superhero, or superhero. I'm not even gonna say superhero on her own. She just killed it, and I love that. And then the father taking her back thing, because like he said, if I need to succeed so she can succeed, so we can succeed. And that was the best thing about it. You know, then, of course, Jack Jack. The best part was the Jack Jack fight with the raccoon. I'm sorry, that is like one of my best favorite things of the year. And like I said, overall, I just enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed everything. I enjoyed the message it was telling, the way the family works together. You know, the children had a little bit more to do. And, you know, the father definitely, he didn't take the back seat, but he definitely showed growth as well, because he learned things just so he can teach us. He studied so he can help his son with math and all this other stuff, just because he didn't want to leave it, like, show that that the mom only could do everything. He wanted to be able to do it himself. So that's one thing, that's what I liked about this. Now, my number 4. Probably you guys never seen it, but it is Searching. Searching, starring John Cho, I believe, you know, from Harold and Kumar, the Asian guy. Yeah, this movie came out of nowhere. And the reason why it's pretty much so high on my list is because the way it was directed is pretty much like the, what you call, like the dark web, or, you know, Friendster, whatever that movie was where they tried to record everything from the computer screen. Well, that's what this thing did, but they did it in such a well job. And the movie had plot twists. It was a thriller, and like it had you kind of on the edge of your seat, and everything that he's searching, you're searching too, and you're finding out things when he's finding things out, and you find out like, yo, people, you know, they put on the front, but except not every, like, they can make it seem like they're all good, but they might not be doing as well as you think they are. And when you're looking at the history, when you're looking at the friends and all that online, you kind of learn things, and that's the one thing that you see as a parent. You don't, like, a lot of parents don't know, but that's why they need to talk to their children and find out more about them, because, you know, you ain't got to force your way into their life, but at least show, you know, you're trying to listen, trying to work with them, and trying to talk to them. And that's all the girl really needed at the end with this movie. But the way it was directed, it was just so great, refreshing, because it was something different, and it could have failed really bad, but yet somehow it worked. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing another movie kind of try and do this, because I don't know, like, I hope they don't do a sequel or whatever, because, you know, the movie's just good on its own. But, like, you know, I love the way it came out, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing another one try and do this. Alright. My number... sorry, my throat. My number three. My number three movie, if you guys haven't kind of guessed it, because of course it should be on there, Black Panther. Black Panther, yes, it is my number three. Why? Because this movie, granted, after watching it more or whatever and just thinking about it, it did have a lot of plot holes. It did have a lot of plot holes where, you know, if this didn't happen, the rest of the movie would have been mute. You know what I'm saying? Or this happened, like, you know, like things where it could have just ended the movie right there if someone just did the right or smart thing. But at the same time, the way that the way the guy that directed this movie created this world, the way he created the Wakanda, the way like the way they dressed, this the culture itself, and then what the movie did for black people in general. Like me, I'm an author, and this movie opens the doors to so much. Why? Because it shows you that you can that black authors and black stories and black superheroes are like viable. So that's one thing I love about this movie, and hopefully it'll kick off a whole nother thing. Hopefully I can profit from this a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I have a book out myself. I'm going to republish it, you know, in 19, I believe. But I'm telling you, you guys, that's why it's on my number three. That's why it's on my number three. And you would have thought it would have been a little bit further down because I love it so much. But at the same time, like I said, it wasn't perfect. It definitely had some plot holes where if this didn't happen, this wouldn't happen. But at the same time, it was still fun. Michael B. Jordan killed it. Chadwick Boseman killed it. Everybody in this movie pretty much killed it. And I like the acting and like the character. And you even like the villain for a little bit. And then even the side characters, you just enjoyed it. It was real fun. And that's why it is my number three. My number two, you guys probably wouldn't believe it, but it is Infinity War. Infinity War, it's my number two. Why? Because it is 10 years. It's a conclusion of 10 years of movies, of 19 movies or 18 and 19 movies all coming together. And finally you have Thanos. He does his thing. He comes. He actually conquers. He wins. And it's over. Like, it's just like the book. And even though, you know, you're going to have a next one, the end of it, come in 2019. But this one on its own, it was sort of much the conclusion of bringing all these people in the fight. And that's where I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. I watched it. You got everybody. You got Guardians of the Galaxy, you got the Avengers, you got Ant-Man, you got Spider-Man, you got everybody, Doctor Strange. Everybody just came into the movie and somehow it could have failed. It could have failed so bad, but somehow it worked in. Even though this movie is not perfect. Why? Because people are saying, how come Doctor Strange could just chop off Thanos' arm? I don't know. Maybe he could have done that, but I don't know. Otherwise, it was a really good, fun, entertaining movie, and that's why it's at my number two. And then number one, drum roll, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I didn't think this would. The more I see it, the more I thought about it, there wasn't really that many flaws. The plot holes, there weren't really any, because, you know, the bad guy's doing this thing. You understand why Wilson Fisk is doing this, and you understand him. You've got Miles Morales, and Miles Morales, I knew about Miles Morales before this. You know what I'm saying? He's actually in the new Spider-Man PS4 game. Yes, I liked that iteration, but this one iteration I loved even more. And I knew about Miles Morales, but this movie brought him to life so much, and it just made you really care about him. And, like, you know, he just kind of learned this thing. He didn't all of a sudden just become a superhero. This shows his growth. This is like the origin story of Miles Morales, and he did a great job. And then the way they bring in all the other Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen and all these other people, it just worked so well. And then Jason, the guy from New Girls, doing a voice of Peter Parker, I didn't think I was going to like it, but it actually turned out pretty well. I thought it was very funny. The movie had a lot of funny moments, had a lot of action. Like, the visuals were just amazing. The way they designed this, like, it was like 12 frames or whatever instead of 24 frames. The way they had to double it up so it looked kind of choppy, and that's kind of one of the issues I had before. But then learning that they did this on purpose and it was even more work for them to do this, I enjoyed the movies. I wish I kind of seen it in 3D because it looked like a movie that should have been in 3D, but I saw it in Dolby Digital, so I definitely like the sound and the visuals even like better. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it is my number one for 2018. So hopefully you guys like my list. Remember, I told you before, put those notifications on, like this video. Remember to subscribe. Check out my last, oh no, you know what, there was never one. So if anything, like I said, remember to happy new year. I'm Wes Grant. You've been watching Suburban Nerd, and you've just been notified. Catch you guys on my next list.